Where to with Nico and Chow. Food, travel, experiences, and stories. Where to, powered by MegaWorld Hotels and Resorts.
You know, we've had a great episode with our conversation earlier. We talked about the many personalities and the many motivations that bring us to Boracay.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, but you know what, beyond that one, there is, and I would have to say, coming from my point of view and my own needs, that there is a non-negotiable every time I come to Boracay, and that would always have to be finding my center.
Yes.
And always identifying activities that are good for wellness or for my wellness, right? Any thoughts? To that topic?
It's so conducive, right? I think Boracay Island is so conducive for just finding your peace and finding your calm. And I know that you usually do, like when you're here, you do yoga, right?
I try to.
Okay.
I try to.
Yeah. So today, we are so excited because we have another personality. Speaking of personalities, another personality that we got to meet right here in the island. And we just want to hear her story because it's very interesting. You know, Boracay is not just a place where you want to stay, where you want to live, you want to
Make a difference.
enjoy, make a difference, but it's where you want to play. And for some people, playing means
You know, finding yourself and creating an ecosystem where there is wellness for you. So this amazing person right next to us has been here in Boracay since 2016 and has been practicing and has led a lot of lives to go to and be passionate about yoga. Ladies and gentlemen, good friends, please welcome Daniela Pop.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
saying yes to be with us today.
Of course. I'm very glad, actually, very grateful for having me here. And as you said, I've been here since 2016. And my first time here was 2012 in vacation, and it was love at first sight. So thankfully, I was offered the job back then and asked if I want to come back in 2016, and I'm like, of course. And
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, and glad to be here since then.
But of course, back in 2012, of course, you didn't practice yoga yet.
I was not teaching, but I was taking yoga classes. I was a student. I'm still a student of yoga. I'm still learning, but I wasn't teaching yet. I was just taking classes. There were other teachers on the island back then, and I was attending classes. Yeah, and I'm grateful and happy to see there is a switch already on the island because there used to be a lot of parties.
Yes.
And I was one of them. But eventually, you know, we have the stages in life when you kind of calm down a little bit, and then you just want to, like you said, have some time with yourself, right? And because most of the time we work, then friends, and you party, so you're like all over the places, right? And
You get overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, yeah. And then I eventually calmed myself down and focused more on the yoga, and I am now only teaching yoga. I was working in hospitality before, a very stressful life, whatever, like you said, history, and just glad to be teaching and showing this to a lot of people. And it's a lot of demand lately on the island, which makes me very happy. Because I was trying to offer this before to the hotels and around, but it was
It took some time.
It took some
for
time.
It to build
It took
up.
some time, but
Yeah.
then eventually now hotels are coming around, and we are doing this now. We are doing this. Yeah, and yeah.
do you see the change? Like, okay, you've been practicing or teaching yoga since 2016, right?
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
But you've been on the island since 2016. So was there a shift like during the pandemic? Did that
Yes.
change?
What caused it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
what
yes.
caused
I
it?
think the pandemic did that switch. Like people was really stressed during the pandemic, and thankfully they jumped into practicing yoga and more activities about removing all that stress. And a lot came here.
A lot,
and,
yes.
and as I can really tell, I had personal experiences with people who came here with lots of traumas, and this is a very healing place. This island is very healing place. I witnessed that myself, and not just combining the yoga, but being around and being on the island, fresh air and great view, the sea. So I think during the pandemic, a lot of people found yoga as a way of getting out of the stressful life. We were locked inside. So what can you do with 12 hours, And a lot of students today, they still come and say, oh, you're my first teacher in person, because I was practicing online and YouTube and so on.
And they saw you.
So I'm glad to see there is a lot of people now that actually asking for, and a lot of people find me online as well, like on social media, and asking, I'm gonna come to Boracay, let's do yoga. So I'm glad to be offering this here, and as we said, combining with the island and good food and not much party now. Eventually people go back differently.
Yeah.
Less stressful, a little bit more relaxed, and more peaceful. Yeah.
Living the life.
Living
Different
the-
definition.
Yeah.
But I think you mentioned that people didn't really embrace yoga right away, right? Or maybe it was the lifestyle.
It was the lifestyle. I would say the lifestyle, because some of them, they had the intention, as I mentioned, I was offering a lot. They had the intention of, oh yeah, sure, I'll become tomorrow, I'll see you, whatever, 8 or 9. And yet they won't show up because they will hang out the night before, so maybe hangover and whatever. So it never started. It never pick up like a good pace. I had people like on and off, but not like integrating this as a part of their life.
And
That's
even
what I believe.
establishments, right?
Yeah, even establishments. No way. I propose myself. I handwrite proposals to hotels and asking a collaboration. I didn't ask you to hire me because I understand we went through a hard time, right? A lot of people didn't work, business were down, but I proposed myself as a collaborator. Let's collab together and we offer this, and then let's see, we pick it up from there. But nobody listens to me, so I was like, okay, I pulled back, but then eventually someone came around, and finally Belmont was the first hotel who reached out to me in the pandemic, and I was like, yes, finally my prayers are being listened now. So
I'd have to ask, what made it more effective to do the classes here in Boracay Nuco, specifically with Belmont Boracay and Savoy Boracay?
well, definitely the place, and
What's with the place?
the fact they chose a sunrise. That's amazing. Like, actually, yoga practice, to have the full benefits out of it, it should be done around sunset or sunrise. Sunrise or sunset,
It's
right?
like start or end your day.
Exactly.
right?
Like, you start your day in gratitude, you end your day in gratitude, right? So that was the idea, because they're facing the sunrise, and we chose the view deck. The view deck where you can see the sunrise, and then that's what happened. The first classes happened on the view deck, where you could practice while the sunrise was happening.
Beautiful.
So it was very peaceful and calm, connected with the nature, and a lot of birds. And
Yeah,
like,
that's what I remember.
the sound of the nature. I don't
birds.
even have.
Sound of the
I don't
waves.
even need the music here for the relaxing part. Like, you can just lie down literally and like
Suck
connect.
it all in. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
connect
So
with the
connect, yeah.
So that's one thing that I love about teaching here. Yeah, it's the nature around, definitely. And sometimes we even do it on the beach. Depends. But
And sometimes if it's raining, at least
Yeah,
you've
plan
got
B.
plan B.
Plan
You've got
B.
other spaces where we can also
absolutely,
do
yeah,
it.
indoor spaces. Always we have a plan B. Yeah.
I have a question. I'd have to be honest, because sometimes when I travel, of course, it just takes so much for the body to recover, right? And I think you go
Yeah.
through that too.
Yes, that's so
Even
true.
riding the plane, arriving, and then going
Right.
back. All the food that you're eating, because of course
And
it's not every
sitting, and
day.
sitting on the
and all the
plane.
sitting and all the. For others, all the booze that you're taking too, it takes a toll on your body, honestly. But if there's anything else that you could advise our travelers, how do you keep healthy
Well,
during your trips?
I definitely, if I have to wait from a plane, like for longer hours, I'm not sitting. I'm walking around all the time in the airport.
Yeah.
I drop my bag somewhere, or if I'm alone and I have no one to drop my bags with, I just gonna take a push cart and then just walk around all the time and try to sit less possible, because especially if your next flight is gonna be 13 hours.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
imagine?
What a long layover.
Imagine that. That is
Yeah.
like you're gonna sit for 13 hours,
yeah.
and then if you have a seat by the window, you can't even ask your neighbor. Maybe they are sleeping. You can get out of there, So you are stuck in there. But even though on the planes I'm trying to stand up as much as I can, and I don't know if I mentioned to you this, I learned from the I don't know if I should say this, but I learned from the Chinese, they are hitting their legs very hard when they
To
are
stimulate
standing
the-
up.
Stimulate
Yeah,
this
and it's
blood
actually
The circulation.
yes.
Yeah.
And I found it very weird at first, but it's really good.
So it works.
It does help. It does help.
Hit it, but not too hard. What I'm saying, just you try
You don't want to
exactly.
beat it up, right?
Beat
you
it up
You
a
want to
little bit.
beat it,
Yeah.
but not beat it
Yeah,
up.
And not
don't-
end up with bruises.
Not bruises, yeah, not to that point. So I guess, yeah, walk around and just try to also like eating a lot in the airports, too much heavy food.
Oh,
It-
yeah.
it's- I don't know why like you feel attracted when you're in the airport about all this, right?
It's like you
Let's
wanna
not
binge.
say names, but you're attracted by foods that you normally don't eat. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but that happens to me. I don't know you guys. So I'm trying to control that, because then eventually, like I said, I realize that I feel much better if I skip all that. I walk all the time, and I'm not gonna watch all the time, or because I have
Less
time. Then
screen
when I
time, yeah.
go home, I have time for that eventually. So
So it's
yeah,
really keeping active.
keeping
right?
acting all the I made a short video once on my social media about just stretching out, even when you're sitting in the airport, like do some side stretching. That's okay, even like rolling your shoulders, or like
Or
just
breathing,
extending your legs a little bit, better than sitting.
Sedentary.
Sedentary, yeah.
So we're talking about like wellness, right? Why is it so important to integrate wellness and having a good habit even when you're traveling?
Well, as I mentioned to you before, I think disconnecting from your city life, especially people who lives in the city, and coming to a place like this, it's in first place very healing. So it's a great choice to come in a place like this for your well-being. And it's again, a life in the city, it's totally different than an island life. So it's a good way to disconnect from all that noise, from the traffic and your routine, your schedule. You have to follow schedule, like wake up at 6, maybe if you have kids, feed them, send them to school, go buy groceries, go to work, beat it, right? So you need a place like this to come. Especially people around Manila, I always recommend them. You're so close, not even an hour flight.
True.
Just come here and take your weekend off, where you can disconnect from all that stress.
Yeah.
You reconnect with your true self. We are loving, we are kind people, born in that way. We are creative, we have a lot of good qualities, but sometimes we forget about all this, right? Because we are so stressful and we never spend time with ourselves. So that's a good time to come and disconnect from all that, reconnect with yourself, and just to find some peace of mind, So eventually you're recharging yourself, and then you can go back to whatever is your schedule, and you are more powerful again. You feel creative again.
You're
you feel recharged,
Recharged.
rejuvenate, So good fresh air, a nice walk on the beach, and good yoga session, good meditation, some breathing pranayama exercises, and then you're ready to go for another month or 2 or 6. And here
Half
you
a
go.
year.
And then
Wow.
when
A
you're
year,
ready,
yeah.
feel again you're super stressed, just come back again.
Come back.
And
Yeah.
the venue really has a lot to do with it, right? Where you are at that time.
Oh yeah,
too.
definitely. As I mentioned, the nature, and this place is amazing. It's really far from all the chaos in the downtown, let's call it downtown. And the walks you can have around here are paddleboarding and swimming and the sand. It's definitely a great place to be. Yeah.
And overall, it helps with the peace of mind that you're trying to look for.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As Charlene asked me earlier if I nap, sometimes I said no, but if I want to recharge, because I wake up very early in the morning, 4 o'clock, my classes are very early, I come here and I just lie down on the beach beds and I pass out.
Like what you were doing yesterday.
Yes,
I think. Yes.
That's what I was doing before I met
Before
you
we had a
guys.
meeting.
Yes,
I witnessed
Yes.
it.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I just passed out 10 minutes because it's quiet, because it's away from all the chaos, and that's how I recharge also myself. I just take my 10 minutes power nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Enough time for you to reconnect with yourself, which is most
absolutely.
important.
Yeah.
I think it really heals you as well. I mean, that personally, those are one of the things I enjoy doing. Like over the weekends in Cebu, my family and I would go to the beach, right? And then we just sit around by the beach and enjoy the breeze, and then take a nap, and
Right.
and it just heals you somehow. It heals your body, your mind, your soul.
Oh, you should witness. I hope you guys gonna be here one time when it's happening full moon.
Full moon.
And
Okay.
it's
Why, what's happening?
mostly on the Bulabog side. It's on this side, and it's really amazing. Like, especially if there are no lights on the beach during the night, the moon comes out really huge, and it's like giving such a beautiful light that you feel like, oh my God, I'm in space somewhere. Like I'm not here. You know, it's a really healing moment, powerful.
I feel like there's a validation there with the statements that you guys shared. Because for a lot of people, or at least some, to be modest about it, doing nothing is stressful. Like where we're coming from, doing something means being productive, right? But really, in reality, if you really look into it, doing nothing is actually doing something, because that's the only time you get to talk to yourself.
Absolutely. And just to get a little bit into yoga, that we have this yin and yang in us. And if you're going to keep just giving a lot of yang to your body, then a lot of more stress coming into your life. And yang, what means? All your schedule, all your work, thinking.
Busy.
So you never have a moment of, because you cannot say, I'm peaceful now. You're going to constantly have something to think of, but you can improve that. Because I don't think we ever going to have a day in our life zero stress or stress-free, but you can get very close to that, because anyway, we have families to take care of, we have friends, and you will always have something to do. But it's very important to take a moment to get close to that nothing and give some yin to your body, where you calm yourself completely and you listen to. Sometimes let's be honest, we leave the house, you don't even know what you're wearing because you're not looking at you. Yes. You're never listening to your heartbeat. You don't know who you are.
Or different slippers. I've done that before.
Right? Oh my God.
Different pair of slippers.
Or socks or
what's
whatever.
going on?
And that's what I'm always asking people, especially when they do a yoga class with me. Okay, just take a moment now, listen to your heartbeat. Go within. Listen to what you actually want. Like, you want this. You want to relax the moment. Feel your skin on your body. Feel the clothes you're wearing today on your body, So spend time with yourself. It's really important because some people, unfortunately, they have such a stressful life due to the teachings from parents or something. They conduct a life, maybe they don't even want to. And because you never had time, you think that's who you are.
Yeah.
But maybe you're not. Maybe you want to be a
Something
musician
else.
in your life, or you don't want to be a dentist or a lawyer because that's what your parents ask you. So especially, you have time in life to always for a change. So spend time with yourself, recharge, and even if you're happy with your life, you don't have to do that just because you're unhappy. This is not applying just to unhappy people, but stressful people. But
everybody goes through it.
I think even if you have a very balanced life and you're happy with your family, job, everything around you, still bring some healthy lifestyle in your routine. Because again, eventually if you keep going and only doing, never disconnecting from that, then you see sometimes we have shoulder pains, lower pain, and then what do? It
manifests, right?
manifests in your body. Some people suffer from stomach ache and any kind because they're so stressed, headaches. All this is because of your lifestyle. So you want to disconnect and you don't want to spend your money on massages that are temporary happiness. That is something that works momentarily, like just now. It's gonna, yes, your muscle will relax, but tomorrow you're going back. Exactly. So take time to heal. Take time to conduct like a balanced lifestyle, I think. So just come to Boracay. I'm here, waiting, ready to teach a lot of people.
Daniela, listening to you, I feel like you're really describing me and my lifestyle.
Oh no!
And I need it.
Stay here. Stay here with me now.
It's always great to come to Boracay. For the sake of our listeners, any advice from each of us, perhaps based on this discussion, what would you advise our listeners for them to start living a more stressless life? Yeah. Let's start with you then.
Well, definitely paying attention to your day. Just, take a day in your life and see how you're doing. Like if you're, by the end of the day, you're going to sleep and you say, thank you, I had a great day, you are at peace with yourself, then that's great. You're just doing a great job. But if you feel like, God, oh, thank God, my day it's over. I'm ready to pass out in my bed, and tomorrow morning you wake up again like, then you need to slow down. You need the moment of you time. You time, my time. It's very important. I will never forget this teacher, another yoga teacher I met, and I was talking to her how many classes I was doing. I'm so busy, and then she smiled at me, so peaceful, and she said, "Don't forget to fill your cup first." Fill your cup first. And once you're at peace with yourself, you're loving yourself, you are happy with who you are and what you're doing, then you have enough to share. Because sometimes we are so stressed to the point that you are putting this on your family, right? Like you're dumping this on your kids, family, and like, leave me alone. So you don't want people to hate you around, and you want to be nice as much as you can. Life is too short to be angry. There you go. So just take time for yourself, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think a lot of people can relate to the, thank God my day is
right?
over. But what's funny, because it reminded me of Nico. Not that he says that, but he will tell me the next day and say, oh, you know what? I was supposed to go to the gym last night, but I just fell asleep.
Because you passed out. You're so tired that you forgot
it's
about.
It's not my fault.
So your you time, it's gone.
Yes.
That's. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's one last thing. Like when people said I'm too busy, that's the time when you have to find more time for yourself. And think about 12 hours in a day. Just find 30 minutes. 30 minutes, do something for you. You don't want to do a physical activity. Close yourself in the room and just calm down. Take a moment to relax. And it will change, and then add 5 minutes every day to that routine, and eventually will help you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Daniela.
Thank you.
Yeah. For me, it's really, I think that wellness doesn't necessarily mean exercise all the time, but yes, it's finding peace. So if one of the habits that I do, aside from exercising also every day, but it's really having that 30-minute before I run. It's that 30-minute time where you quiet yourself, everybody's asleep, it's still dark, and you get to connect with yourself, connect to God.
Beautiful.
And so,
oh my God.
And that's where you draw your strength from, right? But I think the reason why I love coming here as well in Boracay New Coast is because it's just so beautiful, and not only you get to appreciate that 30-minute that's
doing so much
quietness, that special time, and everything else around you,
right?
And it's just healing for your soul.
Absolutely.
Nico?
Yeah.
I remember we had this activity here in Boracay New Coast before, we had to wake ourselves up 5:30 in the morning, go to the
Yeah.
beach.
Yes.
Go to the beach, and then we had a meditation session. For some reason, I was just looking at the sunrise, feeling the music also, because thank God we were playing music. And then everybody else was just observing everybody's peace and silence. And then all of a sudden, I started crying. I actually even saw you crying too. Nobody was saying anything. But it just gives you that level of groundedness and that moment of silence that brings peace, that really opens up your heart and your mind to like embracing everything around you. Peace is not something that you wait for to come. It's something that you do in your life that brings it.
It's within you.
It's within
It's
you.
within you, but it's so pushed in because of your lifestyle that you
around you.
don't know where it is, because we have all this in us: love, kindness, compassion, peace, but it's gone. Because why, you need to bring it back out. So the only way is to spend time with yourself again, to look back inwards. Yoga is a practice that not a workout, but it's a work in.
It's a work in.
Work
I
in.
like that.
So
Work in.
it's a work in. Spend time with yourself and eat well, ground yourself, touch the ground, swim in a nice ocean, and that's how eventually. I speak this from experience. I'm still a little bit, how to say, angry around sometimes,
Of
but
course.
I definitely, after practicing and being here, that's why I'm still here. After 7 years, I'm still here. I can call this island home, and I feel at home when I come here. But I was really stressed and angry all the time before. I was like, yelling at people when they cut your road or like whatever. Now I'm like,
Road rage.
now the way I react to it is I'm like, okay, So peace eventually started to come back out. Still working. We are learning.
A work in progress.
Work in progress.
We all are.
Yeah.
We all are.
That's it.
I think on that note, in all those notes, because we've talked about so many things, and I think there's opportunity for us to discuss in our next episode, right? On the next one. But we'll definitely take note of all these insights, and maybe perhaps you guys who are all watching there, please do comment below if in case you find us over Facebook or YouTube, or any other platform that allows you to connect with us and to comment, to please put down your insights on how else you think one can achieve wellness and peace while here in Boracay, specifically in Boracay New Coast. All here at Where To?